All right, here we are on the road again, this time against Chippenham. We are expected to lose this match again. I mean, we might as well not say it. I think we're expected to lose every single match that we play this season. So we'll see how we do. We have kind of an odd mix of players in there. I'm not sure that I actually went through and changed everybody around in our team. So we'll see what we did. I may have made a couple of mistakes and put a couple of guys in this team that we probably shouldn't have. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what impact this has on us overall, and see what we can do. We're in red again today, and last time that didn't work so well. Masters good to Seong to Haran. Haran forward and just misses. Boy, that was almost a goal in 20 seconds. I think he was offside anyway. Doesn't really matter. And so let's see what we can do if we can get that ball back and get another good shot on goal. I tell you, this first team that we have is pretty good. I've been looking around trying to find reinforcements and possible replacement players to come in for guys who have been suspended because of their ridiculous red cards, but we can't find anybody. Chu does a good job winning this in the back. Looking for Sarpong, I can't find him. Unfortunately, Cunningham wins this in the back again, but it doesn't go very far when he tries to clear. And we have some of the same problems that we had before. We have forced another corner, so we'll see what we can get out of this. Yeah, we did get a lot of players over on trial from a number of really interesting countries, but unfortunately, we weren't able to find any really good ones. There are good players who we could sign, but the problem is that they need salaries, and we don't have any money at all. We don't have any cap room. I say cap room. We don't have any room in our wage budget. That's what the problem is. I could go over the wage budget if I wanted to. Danielowitz almost gives up a goal on his own, and that looked pretty bad. We may end up going to the second string keeper here before long if we see much more of that. So, we could go like over the wage budget and just sort of say, YOLO it or whatever. But I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to try to stay within the bounds that were set by the team and just do the best that we can. I've done that before in saves like this. I've gone over the wage budget, and I mean, like, they can't hurt you that much because you don't have a transfer budget, but it's not really a great idea. And you can get the club in a lot of financial trouble if you don't adhere to the budgets that they put out. We're probably going to be in financial trouble anyway, no matter what. Fortunately, that header was up and over. If we finish like really far down in the league, we'll be in financial trouble, that's for sure. So hopefully we can do a little bit better than that and not lose every match. Danielowitz here with the ball again, up to Chu on the left side. He'll bring it up over to Pudil. Pudil back to Chu. Over to the Italian. Back to Sarpong. Over to Seong. Down to Badhawi. That was good. Badhawi brings us forward, looking for a cross. Does get it off just finally. Wilson now with it. He's the one who I probably shouldn't have started. Pudil now with this, and it's hit back by the man playing him. I'm not sure how Wilson got onto the squad. I may have made a mistake or two in not changing our shadow strikers around, and that's a good save by Danielowitz. So 10 minutes into the match already, and we're facing a corner. And yeah, it may have been a personnel mistake on my part. Danielowitz with another good save, and we're trying to weather this storm as best as we possibly can. At least nobody's been sent off this time. The man who was sent off is out. He was suspended, I think, 3 games total, if I remember right. So we'll see what happens to him. It's going to be a little while. That's why we have Emmanuel Asana on the bench, and he's going to end up getting the first team start because he's the only man that we have who isn't an absolute disaster who can play defensive midfield. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But that's what we were looking for. We're looking for defensive midfielders, and we haven't been able to find many. Now, if we had money, if we could look at every player in the world, we'd be able to find them, but we don't have any money. We can't look at very many players. We just look at what's around us, and there was one guy we looked at, and he didn't look good enough, so we're not going to take him. I mean, as bad as our team is, we don't want to go get worse players. That would be a bad idea. Danielowitz over to the Italian, to Chu now, up to Pudil. Masters to Haran to Wilson. That looked good. Sarpong forward to Seong, who must be offside. And he's not able to run quite fast enough. Pudil had it and then lost it, and Sarpong can't quite trace it down. It'll be Windsor here, and Cunningham with a well-timed tackle, and he ends up being called for the foul. I thought that looked like a good tackle from here, but apparently it didn't look so good for the people on the pitch. And Haran wins this, and Krauhaus is offside anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Again, 0-0 still, 20 minutes into the match. The Italian over to Chu up to Pudel. Pudel brings this up on the left side. Down to Seong, and it doesn't quite work. And this is looking bad. Cunningham is behind everything, and boy, we're really lucky. That shot hit off the top crossbar and went out instead of going in. So Chu here with it now over to Masters, down to Sarapong, to the Italian, now to Cunningham. Cunningham forward, looking for Wilson. That was poorly played by Wilson. Down to Seong. And Seong's shot doesn't really do very much. Not a very inventive shot, that's for sure. So, yeah, kind of an interesting combination there at the top. Is Boyce is the one who we're kind of missing. But we'll play around with this and see what happens. It's not too bad to mix it up every now and then. That doesn't quite work for Haran. And we have to remember that we don't just want to win one game and lose one game. We want to win as many games as we possibly can. So it might be worth it to mix it up a little bit. Chu here again with the ball to Masters, back to Chu. Forward looking for Wilson, and can't quite get it to him. And so now we're behind the 8-ball once again. The Italian has that ball go right behind him, and that was pretty poor looking. Here's Danielowitz again up to Chu. Chu forward, lumping it, looking for Wilson, and Wilson get turn around. Seong ends up getting to this, and the ball doesn't quite go in. What is Aaron Wilson doing? The ball is right in front of him, and he was backing up. That was pretty ridiculous. So it's a ridiculous play by their keeper, and it's an even more ridiculous play by our offensive player, who has the ball right in front of him in an empty goal and runs away from it. And then another guy comes from out of nowhere and blasts up a shot from range that was never going to go in anyway. Chippenham have won a corner. And yeah, this isn't exactly pretty, I'll tell you that. I think that the game looks graphically quite attractive, but in terms of like actual talent, none of us have it. None of these teams, neither of these teams, I should say, look very good at all. And we better watch out so that we don't give up another goal. They're passing the ball around here pretty nicely, and it has me a little bit concerned. And we want to make sure that we get this ball off of them and at least have the ability to try to score something. And this just isn't working out the way that we would like it to. We're going down to 20th place at this rate, and we are going the wrong way in the league. Wilson does win it in the end over to Pudel, and so that something happened there. Bradbury here now with the ball, and he runs straight past the defender and past another man. It's the Italian who knocks this out for another corner, and then, boy, we were fortunate that McClure, I think that was his name, had a header that went up and over. Yeah, this is a little bit heart attack inducing here. Yeah, McClure is his name, and I mean, it's a real poor job by the defender once again. I feel like I say that every single time we play. We've had some pretty bad performances here by a number of these players. Chu knocks this forward, looking for Seong. Ends up with Sarpong. Sarpong down to Badhawi. Badhawi forward for Masters, and his header is just a little bit over, so that doesn't quite work out so well. 5 more minutes here before halftime. We'd be perfectly happy with a scoreless half if we can keep it at that. Let's see what we can do. You know, I've told the players to like press the other team, and instead I keep getting this feeling that they're kind of like running away from the ball. You see a lot of that, and it looks kind of strange. And I think it has a lot to do with the lack of talent on display. Yeah, it's been a little bit frustrating here. We have done well. We do well every now and then. We've had some shock victories. We had a shock draw against a team that we really shouldn't have beaten. So I don't think that we're the worst team in the league, but I don't think that's saying very much. Danielowicz does grab the ball, and we have just a couple of minutes left. Now, if we can keep it going, though, and if we can get some cohesion as a club, I still believe that we have the talent to be good in the future. But it's going to be quite a long ways in coming. That was offside again on Chippenham. And so we'll see what we can do. We got about a minute left here, and they have the ball once again. They've had the ball a lot here in this match, and it's not been a lot of fun here for us, has it? It's Simpson coming forward with a full head of steam, and the Italian wins it over to Haran to Wilson. Wilson lumps this forward looking for Seong, and he does a pretty poor job trying to win that. McClure now to Masters, and they're going to call McClure offside, even though we won the ball in the end. So, okay, we'll get the ball back here, and Chu promptly gives it up, trying to do it all himself. Sarpong now to Wilson, down to Seong, over to Masters. That looks a lot more like it. And here's Haran. Takes a shot that is deflected up and out for a corner. So that looks a little bit more like it. That's more of what we want to see. We want to see more play like that, where we're actually playing together, and we want to see less of this, one guy trying to pull the ball up himself and trying to win the match all alone. Halftime 0-0, that's kind of what we wanted to see. We are happy with the performance. Let's keep it up. Let's make them happy, and tell them that they have the ability to do it. Seong with it, over to Cunningham, down to Sarpong, forward to Haran. This might be something if he's onside. Back to Chu, and I guess he was. Chu now with it, and he gives up possession right away. He's given up a lot. Sarpong over to Cunningham, over to Seong, and that's kind of the end of that. It kind of freezes a little bit there right in the middle of the highlight. So, which is a shame, because you're like, I want to see, did we hold on to the ball or not? Apparently not. Haran and Wilson win this together. Pass it, Haran, pass it. He does pass it now over to Wilson, and he scores. Aaron Wilson finally, after all of that talk from me about how bad a player Wilson was and about how I was so upset about paying whatever it is, 100 euros a week for him, he's finally scored. He scored his first goal here this season. It's 1-0 for Hallam, and this is definitely against the run of play. That is for sure. Wilson with a good shot. That one hits the low corner and goes in, and this is looking good. I'm starting to think that, maybe we should mix up these first and second teams a little bit more and try to get a little bit more cohesion with all of the players in the squad. That might be the better thing to do. Danielowicz with a ridiculous pass behind him to Cunningham. What is he thinking? Over to Wilson. Sarpong wins this now to Seong. And he loses the ball right away. It's going to be McClure, who's way behind the defense and way offside. Okay, well, we'll take advantage of their mistake. And let's see what we can do here now. Krauhaus with the shot off the wall. That'll be a corner. So, all right, we'll take that, and we'll have the corner. Let's see if we can prevent them from scoring again. McClure knocks this forward, and it's Danielowicz who pulls it down and drops it. But fortunately, he has a man right next to him to clear it out. Here's the Italian who knocks it forward. We love the Italian. We're going to not be able to win it before he gets to McClure, but it doesn't matter because he's flagged again for being offside. De Girolamo over to Masters, who walks it forward. Now Sarpong has it, and that was an adventurous pass, but it didn't quite work out the way that we were hoping. Lumped forward again, but our Italian friend wins it to Seong, who promptly loses it. As the game is a little bit of glitching there. Windsor, and it's out for a corner. So, okay, we get a corner out of this. Okie dokie, and let's see what we can do if we can keep this one out again. McClure with the corner, and it's Cunningham knocking it out. Mayhew has it and passes it backwards for Chippenham, and then that's the end of that. So, they have another free kick here, however, from range, and Danielowicz, fortunately, has safe hands and is able to save that one, and this is another one of those real nail-biters. I tell you, we could use fewer nail-biting matches like this, and there it is. Eddie Jones scores the goal, and that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. We need to actually play defense here. That was bad, and there are a couple of guys who are going to come off here in a couple minutes, but that was bad. Poodle's not doing anything, and I've really got to blame him. I mean, who is this here? Seong, but he's trying to cover two men at once, and that's the problem. So let's see what we can do. But yeah, we're going to finally do what we should be doing all along and making some substitutions and taking out players who are having poor matches and actually manage the team instead of just standing back and watching. So let's see what we can do here. Well, this looks pretty bad as we've given up possession quickly once again. Seong is running around a lot, which is something. It makes it look like you're working, but you're not. And Badhawi has given up a corner. That's a pretty good time for us, I think, here to make substitutions if we can. So who do we have here? Who looks bad? Yeah, Pudo looks horrible. We'll put Newton Beat back on, as much as I hate to do that. We'll give him a little bit more time. And then Badhawi also looks bad, so we'll put Blakely on for him. And Joshua Chu looks horrible. It'll be Chris Salt for him, and that'll be that. So let's see what we can do. 3 substitutions are made. We do have a corner to defend, and we do so very, very nicely. Let's see what we can do from here. Hanks was offside. And so we'll get the ball back. Still 1-1, and it would be nice if we could get another goal in there. I know people were frustrated by the feedback, but, we shouldn't have given up that shot. We shouldn't have given up that goal. He shouldn't have been so open. That's the problem, right? We do well on defense from time to time, and then sometimes it's just we just let them do whatever they want with us, and that's a problem. We shouldn't do that. Cunningham forward looking for Haran, and can't quite find him. This is lump forward again for them, and fortunately, since we missed the clearance, that was called for offside. It could have been a lot worse. There's another shot on goal, and that's up and headed out for another corner. So more defensive problems for us. We can't quite clear it. We keep clearing backwards. Hanks takes the corner. Seong can't quite get onto that, and it's Simpson with the shot that's up and above the goal. They've had a lot of shots, and we haven't done a lot offensively. I mean, does that count as a shot? I mean, I don't know. We just haven't been doing much, and fortunately for us, they keep being called for offside. So, and that's kind of what happened there. They have the ball here in another attacking position, and we have just managed to prevent them from scoring. And it was a little bit ugly. Now, I always wonder when they get the ball close like that, how come I wasn't able to see a highlight of what happened before? Because presumably something interesting happened if they have the ball so far forward. Cunningham forward, and there's Seong, and he just can't get to it. We've seen him with attempts like that a number of times. And this is back to Windsor. Now, the Italian knocks it forward, but not quite far enough. They have a couple men offside, and there's no call. And I'm wondering how they have so many men playing so far forward. I guess that they must have switched to something a little bit more attacking oriented. Usually we don't see many teams who come out with like 3 or 4 players playing forward like that, but that's exactly what Chippenham have been doing. 10 more minutes here left in this match. It's over with Salt. Chris knocks it forward looking for Aaron Wilson. It ends up with Seong. Good job. The Italian forward for Haran, and he just can't get there. But it's Newton Bede, of all people, who makes the interception now to Chris Salt. Salt back to the Italian. And this will be Haran. Haran brings it forward. Good job. Back to Masters. One more pass. Sarpong, and that was deflected. Okay. And this will be a corner for us. We haven't had much momentum at all this match, and it's felt that way. It's been just one of those matches. I mean, we'll take another look at this. I do kind of want to see that ball be deflected there at the end. Haran did a great job. Masters with a good decision, and then Sarpong took the shot just like he should have, and yeah, it was deflected there right at the very last second. This would move us up to 19th if we could hold on to a draw. I guess down to 19th is what would actually happen. I know that Aaron Wilson is being played out of position. That's why we're training him there. I wish that the game would figure that out. McClure is way offside, and they do call it. Thank you. All right, couple more minutes left of this match, and hopefully we'll be able to stop the bleeding. Cunningham heads this one out for another corner. We've done a good job at that, at forcing them to take a lot of corners, and we've been pretty good, like we did there, at clearing it out. But we need to clear it out again. And remember, that one goal that they scored was after a set piece. Cunningham here with this and lumps it forward for nobody in particular. It's Blakely who heads it to Seong, who's actually behind him. And yeah, it's we're still working on that. Masters does a poor job, doesn't really try to win that, but Gunner takes a shot from far away, and so it doesn't harm us in the end. About 5 minutes of added time to go. Here we are. Beat down to Salt, forward looking for Seong, can't find him. Haran, however, wins this. Good job. Over looking for Sarpong, finds him, and up to Cunningham. That was good. Over to Seong, and he just stops running. Henry, the keeper, ends up with the ball again. Seong has these flashes of brilliance in between, absolute incompetence. Beat with the ball now. Does very well with it. There to Salt, over to Haran, now to Masters, back to Salt. That looks a lot better. Forward for Seong, and it's just too far in front of him. Blakely now with it. And that's deflected, and we could have been lucky. That could have managed to trickle in, but didn't quite happen. Here's Hanks with a free kick for them. And it's Wilson who brings it down. That was good from him. And Salt lumps this forward looking for Haran. Is he going to win the foot race? He is. Haran wins it and then stops. I'm not sure why he did that. Salt over to Beat. Forward for Haran, who stopped running again. So he showed that he could win the foot race, and then he stopped twice before doing anything with it, like he's scared of shooting the ball. That's not good. This is forward. Cunningham allows the man in front of him and then knocks it out for a throw. We have 2 more minutes left of this, and Seong forces another throw. 1.5 minutes left now. Salt heads this back, beat, and we haven't cleared it very far, have we? And I mean, we've just been under tons and tons of pressure all game long. And Cunningham almost scored an own goal. Not very good. The Italian here knocks this forward, looking for Seong, and he's not going to get there, unfortunately. That was a valiant attempt, but doesn't quite happen. And Beat does a good job of heading that one out. And Danielowitz at the end is able, with safe hands, to prevent them from scoring. So this has been one of those hair-pulling matches. This will make your hair go. This will make your hair go gray prematurely. We're around the end of the match. Hopefully, the whistle's going to come any second now, and we have cleared it out for the last time. And they couldn't find a way to win, and we've put up our wall of defense. We actually won the XG battle 1.01. By the way, this bar here, at least in FM23, is busted, so whatever. We had 47% of the possession, which is good for a match on the road. We had one shot on target, and it went in. So, I mean, how about that? 1-1 draw is something that we'll take, and Aaron Wilson finally scored, and I like the sound of that. So there you have it. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.